Welcome to the Envibe Live podcast with Amy Parker and Cheryl Dunn. By tuning in, you are joining a community that will inspire you to increase balance, wellness, and joy in your life. We'll offer expert information and insightful conversations to help us all on our journey to live more in vibe. For more information and articles, remember to also check out our website at envibelife.com. That's ENVIBELIFE.com. And we're grateful that you're here.
Hello, and welcome to the Envibe Life podcast with Amy Parker and Cheryl Dunn. Thank you so much for joining us. We have been planning this podcast for several days now and have had some interesting things happen to us along the way. So our topic for today is happiness, or choosing happiness and choosing joy in life. And we thought it was important we bring this topic up, or this conversation up, because something we talk about throughout our website and in a lot of the articles you'll see written and other podcasts even we have done or will do is about wanting to increase balance and joy and happiness in life. So we thought it would be a good idea to talk about the importance of happiness and joy, and that living a life where you choose joy every time you're able can make a huge difference to you. And then interestingly enough, in the last few days, Cheryl and I have both had a lot of moments.
Unjoyous moments.
Yeah. In our life.
Leading up to this.
That have been really challenging for us for a variety of reasons. And so we both questioned, actually, whether we'd be able to even do this podcast today.
Right.
And then upon a lot of reflection in many ways, and we'll share some of those things and strategies we've done, we realized this is exactly the point.
Right. This is when we need to do it, because we struggled with finding joy and happiness throughout the last few days leading up to this. And so we had to really dig deep and find the tools that we use to bring ourselves back to this place of joy, which wasn't easy to do in some of the underlying things that were going on in our lives. And so then we realized, as it got closer to doing, this is exactly when we needed to do it, because we needed to share everything that we really had to work on.
So I think we should, share with all of you listeners and viewers out there a few premises that Cheryl and I both really, really subscribe to. One is, I think, at least our own version, or a loose version of the law of attraction, where we really do think that, at least in the most basic way, I think a lot of people would agree with us, wherever you fall on the scale of understanding or subscribing to the law of attraction, that your attitude can really make a difference in your day.
What you put out is what you're attracting into your life.
Yeah. I mean, the most basic form of that is, just what I said, your attitude can make a difference. So if you choose to view things, or are able to get yourself to a place to view things in places of love and gratitude and happiness and joy, it really will influence your day versus in worry and frustration and anger and all sorts of other.
Yeah, your day, the reflection of your day happens based on where you are and how you perceive things.
Right. So that's premise number one.
Yes.
And I'd say what I'm about to lay out, these are probably two of our major premises in life, that being one of them. Yeah. And the second one, that everything is a lesson.
Yes.
So everything that comes to us is coming to us for a reason, and because we're supposed to be learning something.
Yes.
So,
which is sometimes a hard pill to swallow when there's something you think is maybe unfair or very sad, or it's hard.
Well, it is a hard pill to swallow.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. And so based on those two premises, that your attitude really matters, or what the energy you're emitting really matters, and that everything is a lesson, we had to step back today, and we've just done this right before we came on to have this conversation with all of you, and say, why were the last few days the way they were for us? Really a couple weeks, I think, for both of us, but very poignantly the last few days leading up to our slated conversation about joy and happiness.
Well, the funny part, when Amy and I very first started discussing that, this podcast, we're going to talk about choosing joy, I really had thought, I got this. I've been studying all this stuff and reading about it and thought, I got the tools. I can do it. It's so easy. I can talk about it. It's going to be great. And then the weekend leading up to today was really not the best of weekends. It was very challenging. So it took all that confidence I had in talking about it and made me question it, but really made me try and find those tools that I used to help bring me a little bit higher in that frequency that we talk about.
And so we just want to be really honest with all of you. And this is what we're really all about. It's about having these conversations and all of us supporting one another on the journey.
Yes.
And understanding that even though Cheryl and I are going to try to present information that we have learned or find other people to present information we think they can share in a beautiful way, it's really that no one really has it figured out. And we're all in it together. And we just really both firmly believe that having more places to come for these conversations and to join together in community and help each other
just
through it all.
Create
the space, and that alone will help. So thank you for being here with us, because you being here with us and us being here with you is helping us through something today. And so we're grateful for that. That being said, I think maybe one of the first things to talk about is, so we both had a bad day today. We both this morning almost pulled the plug on even doing this broadcast today.
Not realizing that the other one was feeling the exact same way, which is probably good.
And so we both kind of had to regroup and learn, at least begin to learn or examine the lessons of what was happening to us. And we used a variety of strategies to face a difficult day.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of those things we've done.
So I woke up this morning, and first of all weekend I thought, can't do it. Well, it's probably not going to happen because this schedule or that schedule is not going to work out for Amy, so it's probably not going to happen anyway, right? That's what I thought. And then early this morning, I got a text from Amy saying, hey, we're still meeting to do that. And my first thought was like, no way, buddy. That is not happening. I have been in a funk all weekend. There's no way I can talk about joy. So I decided, you know what? And when the text came through, I was journaling. So I was already trying to get myself.
So there's one technique.
One tool. I was journaling, which is not always easy for me. I knew I had about 7 minutes. And so I set that timer for 7 minutes that I would just write down some thoughts. And I really just read some old stuff that I had written last week about joy. Thought, okay, well, maybe this will help spark some joy. I'll read what I wrote. Wasn't helping a whole lot. And then I wrote a little bit more. And then my 7 minutes was up. And I said, okay, put on your shoes. I put on my running shoes, tied my dog to my waist, and my Sherpa pulled me for about 4 miles. And about the time that I got done with those 4 miles, I was like, I can do this. I got this, and so those were two of my tools. I used the running and the journaling that helped pull me out. And, of course, where I was really low, so it might have pulled me medium, not super high. I didn't win the lottery, so I'm not super high, right? But it pulled me up enough that, I chose a different path. I chose a different mindset, and I chose what I needed to do to help me. And that's what I needed. I needed that space of exercise and being alone to write a few things down, and that really helped.
I did some similar things. My first reaction is not normally physical activity, but I chose physical activity. That was one of mine. I thought at first I started getting deeper and deeper into myself and into my worries. And I realized I've got to break the cycle I'm in. So I went and spent an hour both on the treadmill and the Pilates reformer, which, we talk about all the time, or two things we do. And so that just, to me, the purpose of that was not even that I love physical activity so much. It was that I needed to break my cycle that I was in. And so I broke the cycle I was in. And it was during that time, I think, that it came to me that something that I could do is positive visualization. And so some of the things I'm dealing with, not to share too much, particularly about other people, is just some other people in my life having some struggles they're dealing with, and it's weighing very heavily on me right now. So I went through some old photos and pulled up some old memories of happy times with me, with those people, and put myself in an energy surrounding those people of love and joy and happiness and abandon and being in a time without worry and where everything was more rosy and wonderful, and started trying to imagine myself and those people whom I'm worried about in that energy. And then I put myself in a very short meditation, really right before Cheryl came here to record this, where I really sat in that place of happiness. And another technique I think we both like to use is sort of breathing into our heart center, or being mindful of our heart center to put us in a place of heart-brain coherence and leading with the heart. And I did that as well.
Yeah. And so for me, in the beginning, a lot of years, I was like, what is the heart center? What are they talking about? And really, it's just breathing into a place of gratitude, right? And
it's part of what gratitude is all about, and gratitude journaling and things like that.
Yeah. So some days it's just getting up and making that list of this is what I'm grateful for.
And so, as we go along, I think that's one of the things we want to do through these podcasts, through the articles on our website, is share different techniques, because it's really going to be different for everyone. And so any ideas we have, we're going to share with you, or sources or links we can lead you to. You can, if you Google heart-brain coherence, you can get a lot of information on this. Again, you may believe it and jump in with both feet, or you may just dabble in it a little bit. And I think if you do nothing else, realize being in a place of love and joy and gratitude can really help turn your day and your attitude.
And we, back to the law of attraction where we started, if you can change that, just bring it up a little bit higher than where you were, just increase your frequency some, then that's what you're attracting. It's like, oh, if my morning started low and I think about something that's going to make me happy, then that's going to make me in a little bit better mood than the things that it's kind of like, I'm going to say this word here called, what you're putting out there, the universe is listening and it will bring it to you. I do feel like the word, the universe, is interchangeable for God, Jesus, Buddha, whatever you want to call it. Whatever.
It's that Christ love force.
It's the spirit world around us, and they're listening. So if you put out this thing of joy and I'm looking for it, guess what? It's going to find you. And someone said to me one time, you will find what you were looking for.
I mean, let's boil it back. Even if you say, all right, everything Cheryl just said and Amy's been saying about the universe and God and the law of attraction is a lot of baloney. Right? Let's just say,
I've been there.
But let's imagine you go into a cafe or a restaurant and there are a whole bunch of people around, and you're choosing how you're going to speak to, let's say, the person waiting on you, the barista at the coffee shop. If they have a smile on their face and a really positive attitude, you're going to react to them in one way. If they come at you with a scowl and let you know what a bad day they're having, and you say, hey, how are you? And they're like, horrible. This is the worst day and the worst job, and I'm going overboard in the way I'm presenting that. But if they have an aura of negativity and just not being happy with their situation, you are probably going to react to them differently. That's exactly what we're talking about. It's in a most basic human-to-human form or person-to-person form, but like we all like to be around happy, positive people.
Yes.
Those are the people we seek out to be our friends. Those are the people we want to surround ourselves with. Those are the pictures we don't put pictures in our office of sad
strangers.
Times. It's people smiling and having good times.
Right.
That we want pictures of. And it's because it brings us into happier places, and the happiness will beget more happiness.
And speaking of this barista, another tool is someone suggested this to me one time, is choose to make the small talk. Because that community and communication really helps. Even sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I'm so in my head, or I'm such an introvert that I don't make small talk with anybody because I feel like, I don't have the energy for it. But if you choose to go in and pick up your coffee and say, hi, thank you, good to see you, have a great day, or...
And maybe as that person's waiting on you, wish a little blessing upon them silently in your head. And that's something I like to do as well.
Nice. So it does really help change, just saying hi to the stranger on the street, helps you get in a better space.
And think of it from this way too. If you are keeping yourself in a more positive, happy place, you yourself are going to be happier. So you just did it.
Right.
I mean, you just fulfilled the prophecy, or you just fulfilled the expectation just among yourself. But I want to take this to a little bit deeper place in the conversation too, because we started by saying, we believe that what you put out there, you get back.
Right.
But we also believe that everything's a lesson.
Yes.
And so I have often heard people say, or something I hear people ponder a lot is, do all your lessons have to come through struggle or hardship? Can you learn lessons through happiness and joy? And I think what I want to suggest to everyone is, if you're ready to, you have to learn the lessons that God, the universe, wants you to learn. That's what we're here for. We're here to grow and we're here to expand. The only way to do that is to change, not to remain static, to learn these lessons, which can be uncomfortable. And you will learn them however you're willing to learn them and accept them. So if you're in a place, which clearly we both are still, where we need some of that suffering to wake us up and examine a situation, maybe change a situation, that's how the lesson will come to us. If we're willing, ready, and able, and have prepared ourselves to learn that lesson through happiness and joy, then that's how the lesson will come to us.
Correct. Not that once you've got this choosing joy thing down, that life's not going to throw you some hard balls.
Well, and you can cycle. I mean, we learn a lesson and then maybe we go along for a little while.
Yeah.
And then we have to relearn it again.
Right.
I mean, life is really not linear. You sort of cycle through these things, and that's part of it too. And every time I think it comes around, maybe you gain either different knowledge or get it a little more deeply.
Correct. And sometimes I feel like it's a little bit more work to choose joy. And that maybe work is not the right word I'm looking for. We get addicted sometimes to negative thoughts and negative feelings. Sometimes that's easier than trying to explore what's going on with me and why is this happening and how do I make a different choice.
I think this is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because what I would ask, is this what we have grown to accept, or is it really easier? You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. I don't think it's easier. I think it's accepted.
We have grown to accept, so we have to break the patterns that I'll learn only through suffering.
Yes.
And so one of the first things, something I have tried before, is in meditation and prayer and affirmation, telling God, I have learned the lessons I need to learn through pain and suffering. I'm ready to learn the lessons through happiness and joy.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. That's good.
But
and by speaking it, it's powerful.
Or writing it. Writing it, speaking it is really powerful.
Yeah, very powerful.
And again, we're still sitting. I mean, we've both done all of these things, and we're still sitting here today saying we've had some really difficult days, and we're both going through clearly some lessons in life.
Yeah.
That we're in the middle of that are kind of hard for us, and I'm a little confused and at a loss for what tomorrow is going to look like or how I'm going to move forward. I'm grateful to have you, Cheryl, to talk to about this.
This is huge.
And this is why we're here. I mean, this is in a lot of ways confirming why we're doing what we're doing, and we're spending so much time putting into this because
these conversations are what really helped us grow and find joy
and support each other in this journey and process, because these hard moments are so much harder if you don't have anyone to talk to about it. And even I think we both have great relationships with our spouses, our life partners, but
sometimes a girlfriend is great.
Or just someone maybe who's not in the middle of it with you.
Yes.
You know, like who's not in the same household with you, who's not in the middle of it with you, but someone to offer
to be
a little bit more of an objective
view.
or an outside perspective of it can be.
And not that like we go to each other with, hey, I'm going to tell you this. Can you solve it for me? Sometimes you just want an ear to hear what you're saying.
Right.
Or to validate that what you're feeling is real and okay, you know, or maybe help with those tools to help pull you out of it.
Or even tell you, like, congratulations, you're learning a lesson here. Like, let's honor the process we just talked about with our friend Janet. And even sometimes the process isn't pretty.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And we still need to be grateful for those moments.
For it. Yeah.
So, in fact, I think that's what I'm going to journal about tonight is
being grateful and then having the tools to, and then hope that we can impart some of these tools and help somebody else.
Right.
You know, that
and I'll help each other.
Right. Help each other.
I can't wait till we get a lot of interaction in this community and start getting feedback from others as well.
Right.
Help.
Speaking of feedback, I did, we had our staff meeting today and I presented some of my Choose Joy tools with the staff to kind of help them with this. And one of my staff members came up with a really great tool that he used. His dad has recently passed away in the last year, but he knew leading up to his dad passing, because he was very sick, he knew that sooner than later his dad was going to pass. And so he spent those last couple of years leading up to his dad's passing journaling in great depth happy times they've had together. And that he said he wrote down what he could smell, what he tasted, what it looked like. You know, he put grave details into his writing about joyous moments that him and his dad had, because he knew my dad could either be gone tomorrow or it could be another 5 years, but I know it's coming and I want to remember absolutely everything. And I think that's one of the fears too with somebody passing is you fear that you're going to forget them. And so he knew that it was coming. And so he now knows, since his dad has passed, that he can pull on these memories because he's kind of ingrained them in his head a little bit deeper by journaling them. And then if he does ever feel like he's forgetting, he goes back to that journal. And it's all there.
There are so many great points out of this.
I thought it was beautiful.
First of all, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
But the second thing is it's really something he was doing for himself.
Yes.
So it's what we were saying. He was creating an energy to help himself along by choosing
joy.
To find the joy
that
he could find even in an extremely difficult situation.
You know, and I'm like, wow, I wish I would have known this. You know, because that's a great tool, you know. So I thought it was beautiful that he took the opportunity to share that with everybody. And it's kind of a very intimate, touching thing that he shared, you know. So
and helpful.
And very helpful. Very, very helpful. It just, I know what he dealt with, others in the meeting are embarking on and dealing with. And so I think it was such a great tool that he was able to, or a seed he was able to plant. Whether they use it or not, maybe they'll start to look deeper at all of us, looking at our relationships with each other, you know, a little bit closer and looking at those really happy times and being more present during those happy times and trying to really, you know, smell them and taste them and see them and maybe go home and write about them if we get the opportunity.
So this is a very timely thing to discuss. I mean, just to share with our listeners, we're recording this podcast the day after we just learned of the horrible helicopter accident with Kobe Bryant and his daughter and, you know, just
the other people.
Such a heartbreaking situation. But I think one of the reasons that captured so many people, and I know for a while yesterday couldn't take my eyes off the news and just praying for everyone involved.
Just could feel the hurt.
Is because it reminds us all
of a time
we never know.
It
reminds us all the time we've lost someone, and it reminds us all that we never know when that day is going to come. And so to embrace every moment we can in as happy and loving and positive a way as we can, which I think it's one of the beautiful things. Like when you think of Kobe Bryant, you just think of someone literally almost larger than life.
Yes.
I mean, first of all,
completely
superhuman or mega human talent and abilities, but also just like this brilliant smile and charisma and beauty to how I think people viewed him and saw him. And so I think
passing has rocked the world.
It gives you an inspiration. I know I watched a lot of the information yesterday and it inspired me to go do more or be more, not only with my family, but with the outside world. And so, you know, maybe that resonates with some people of some of the other things we haven't said here does, that you don't know when that day is happening with anyone in our lives.
I know.
And so, you know.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Show love, express love,
savor
love. Realize that some of the stuff we're worried about, and I'm a worrier, are really small.
Yeah.
Things. Small, and they're just lessons in the big picture of life and love and spirit that we're here to
experience
for. Yeah, and something else that we've talked about, Cheryl, just before we wrap up, I know that we are both sensitive to criticism from others and like things that get flung around social media and different things like that. And we both have the opinion or the feeling that it's just people showing their pain.
Yes.
And that happy people don't try to take other people down. Right. And I think that's one reason it's important for us to try to
put some positive out there.
Put positive out there and inspire people to, it's okay to try to be happy. Like I know we all say, I just want to be happy or I just want my kids to be happy. It's okay to really make that a priority.
Yeah.
Because if you're happy, you're going to be nicer to the people around you. Yeah. You don't,
and they'll be nicer to the person around them.
You just want everyone else to be happy too. So, I mean, just those little things, the being nice to the barista.
Yes.
You can't, I think, underestimate how powerful those small moments can be, because then they just spread really, you know, the ripple effect, the small stone in a pond.
Yes.
It is such a beautiful
analogy.
And image to think of for that you doing even very small things can ripple through someone else's whole day, which will touch someone else, which will touch someone else, which will touch someone else. And so let's just, I think, all try for this together and support each other. Maybe we periodically touch back in on our little happiness project here, or Choose Joy project and see how we're doing, and maybe Cheryl and I can come up with even some other ideas or inspiration.
Yeah, if we hear of others too, we'll share gladly. Either if you have any and you want to comment with them below, that would be great. Yeah,
that would be great. Either ways to keep yourself in a really great positive place, or the opposite, those times you're in a difficult place, to raise yourself out of it, or to help yourself out of it. And so thank you all today for being part of helping us through this difficult time by getting to talk a little bit about that. And I think
our journey.
A lot of what you've heard today was us talking it out in real time. We took a few notes beforehand when we said, should we do this or not?
Right.
And then we just jumped right in and did it. Right. So we're kind of talking it out as we go. And I think I feel equipped to go handle or face the rest of my day now and my tomorrow now. And so, you know, wishing you all happy moments and good journaling. And let's end with our final thoughts on balance. How is happiness or joy part of living a balanced life?
Well, for me, it's bringing it back to not letting the routine of my day bring me down, right? Because it's very easy for the routine, because that, you know, pack schedule, going and doing, and all of you guys are out there doing that. You know, we've overpacked our days, and that can bring you down. But if I choose to take some breaths, not rush it, enjoy the moment, bring my frequency up, say hello to the person on the street.
It really is part of being in the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it just helps bring a little more balance to maybe just a routine day that I do every day.
Right.
Right? And be joyful about,
And I think what I will say about this, at least today, and I may change this answer another time, is remembering with everything really, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Part of balance too, is, these are all phases that we're going through. These are all moments we're going through. Some are more joyful. Let's hold those and appreciate those fully when they come around. Some are more difficult. Let's remember that there's a lesson to be learned in those as well.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the middle of that is balance and the moment.
Exactly.
So thank you for joining us today. We wish you well. We wish you happiness. We wish you joy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Envibe Life podcast. For more information and to join our community, be sure and check out our website at www.envibelife.com. We look forward to sharing with you.